ever ask you would be to.
The music world woke up on November 15th to news that spread quickly across Nashville and the entire Americana community. Todd Snider had died at the age of 59. His team posted the announcement on his official social media accounts, confirming that the singer passed away on November 14th. The statement described him as a folk hero, a storyteller, and someone whose words had the ability to capture life with humor, clarity, and emotional impact. His record label also confirmed the news publicly. The announcement immediately triggered a wave of reactions from fans, fellow musicians, and writers who had followed his 30-year career. Many quoted the same tribute line from his team, the one that said Todd always found the right words even when the world did not make sense. That sentiment, widely shared online, became the emotional center of the first hours after his death. With the news came renewed attention to the rapid series of events leading up to Todd Snider's passing. Only a short time earlier, he had been preparing for tour dates supporting his new album released in October. But in early November, updates began to appear about health concerns, a tour cancellation, a reported assault, an arrest, and finally a medical diagnosis. These events created a timeline that was unusual, unexpected, and difficult for fans to understand at first glance. In the weeks before his death, Todd Snider was still actively working. His latest album, released in October, had brought him back into the spotlight, and the accompanying tour was expected to continue the momentum. As he moved through early preparations, everything appeared consistent with his usual routine: rehearsals, planning, and interaction with fans. However, in early November, concerns about his health began to surface publicly. While the exact symptoms were not detailed in the early statements, it was clear that something had changed. His management team released updates that were more cautious than usual, signaling that Todd was dealing with a situation serious enough to interfere with his performance schedule. Then, in the first days of November, his health took a noticeable downturn. According to statements shared by his family and team, Todd began experiencing issues that required medical attention. These developments prompted discussions about upcoming tour dates and whether he was well enough to continue with the commitments already announced. The situation escalated quickly. Behind the scenes, Todd was seen at medical facilities, and his condition appeared to require more care than initially expected. Although the public did not receive detailed explanations, the need for sustained medical involvement indicated a significant change in his overall health. During this time, updates from his team carefully acknowledged that Todd's condition was affecting his ability to perform, though they did not provide further specifics beyond what was necessary. The combination of health concerns, stress, and the unfolding events that followed formed the early part of a rapid and ultimately irreversible decline. This period marked the beginning of a chain of events that would intensify in the days ahead, leading to the cancellation of his tour and further complications that would shape the final chapter of his life. One of the most significant elements in the timeline of Todd Snider's final days appeared in a statement released on November 3rd. In that message, Todd's team announced that he had been the victim of a violent assault outside a hotel in the Salt Lake City area. The statement explained that he suffered severe injuries, which made it impossible for him to continue his scheduled performances. This was the first time fans realized that Todd's health issues were not simply exhaustion or routine illness. The announcement provided no further details about the nature of the assault, the individuals involved, or the specific injuries he sustained. However, the use of the term violent assault and the confirmation that the injuries were severe created an immediate reaction among fans and media outlets. Many expressed concern for his condition and confusion about how such an incident had occurred. The impact on his professional schedule was immediate. The tour, which had been planned to support his new album, was officially canceled. His team apologized for the inconvenience caused to fans and emphasized that Todd's focus needed to be on medical treatment and recovery. The message did not indicate how long the recovery would take or whether future dates would be rescheduled. This announcement was especially significant because Todd Snider was known for his strong connection to his audience. Canceling a tour was a rare decision in his career, reinforcing the seriousness of the situation. Fans responded with supportive messages, hoping for updates on his condition and clarity about the events surrounding the assault. At this point in the timeline, the only confirmed facts were that Todd had been assaulted, suffered substantial injuries, and was unable to perform. The incident set off a chain of medical and personal challenges that contributed directly to the final days of his life. Shortly after the reported assault, another event entered the public timeline. Todd Snider was arrested in Salt Lake City. The information was first reported by the Salt Lake Tribune, which obtained official police records detailing the incident. According to that report, Todd had been taken to a hospital for treatment. At one point, he reportedly refused to leave the hospital when instructed. Later, he allegedly returned to the facility and made threatening remarks towards staff members. As a result, police arrested him on charges of disorderly conduct, criminal trespass, and threat of violence. The report noted that Todd was released within a few hours. After being released, he was transported back into medical care to receive treatment related to the injuries from the earlier assault. Public reaction to the arrest focused largely on concern for Todd's well-being. Given the context, a recent violent assault, a tour cancellation, and mounting health problems, many fans interpreted this as a sign of distress rather than as an isolated behavioral incident. However, no official statements were made about Todd's emotional or psychological state, and there were no public explanations from his management regarding the circumstances of the arrest beyond the information already available in the Tribune's report. Importantly, no additional allegations or follow-up charges were reported in connection with the arrest. The verified facts remain limited to the police account, the charges filed, his release after a short time, and his subsequent return to medical care. While the arrest added complexity to the timeline, it is only one part of a broader sequence of events confirmed by public records. It highlighted that Todd was navigating an unusually difficult period, marked by injury and medical intervention, but it did not provide insight into the underlying causes beyond what had been reported. Before these events unfolded, Todd Snider was preparing for what should have been a celebratory period. His album High, Lonesome, and Then Some had been released in October, and the accompanying tour was meant to bring him back to stages around the country. Todd's concerts were known for their combination of music and storytelling, and fans were eager to see him return. But the assault and the medical complications that followed made it impossible to continue. On November 3rd, his team officially announced the cancellation of all tour dates. They apologized to fans, acknowledged the disappointment, and emphasized that Todd required time to recover from the injuries he had sustained. No specific timeline for recovery was provided. The message did not mention future rescheduling or replacements for the canceled shows. Instead, it focused solely on his need for medical treatment and the uncertainty surrounding his condition. The cancellation of the tour had a significant emotional impact on fans. Many of them had followed Todd for decades and understood that he rarely canceled shows unless absolutely necessary. The combination of the assault, the arrest, and the abrupt end to the tour created widespread concern and speculation, though no further details were released publicly. This part of the timeline remains straightforward from a factual perspective. The tour did not happen because Todd Snider was medically unable to perform after sustaining injuries in what he described as a violent assault. This marked the final major professional update before his condition deteriorated further due to medical issues. On November 14th, Todd Snider's family and team released another statement. This time, the news concerned his medical condition. They reported that Todd had been diagnosed with walking pneumonia after he began having trouble breathing upon returning home. Walking pneumonia is a form of pneumonia that can sometimes appear without severe symptoms at first, but it can escalate depending on the patient's overall health. According to that statement, Todd's condition became more complicated, and he was transferred to another medical facility for additional care. The update included a message asking fans to keep him in their thoughts, in whatever way felt right to them. The request emphasized that he needed support from everyone who had followed him throughout his career. The statement did not provide medical details beyond the diagnosis and the transfer. It did not specify what complications arose or what additional treatments were administered. No information was given about his vital signs, his response to treatment, or the medical prognosis at the time. The facts confirmed by the public record are limited to the diagnosis of walking pneumonia, the breathing difficulties, and the need for transfer to a different facility. This was the last update provided before news of his death was released the following day. Todd Snider died on November 14th. According to the official announcement posted the next morning, the public record does not describe the exact circumstances of his final hours. It does not specify the location within the medical facility, the individuals present, or the precise timeline of his final moments. The statement released by his team simply confirmed the date of his passing and acknowledged the loss. The message focused on honoring his artistic contributions and the impact he had made throughout his career. It included praise for his songwriting, his humor, and his ability to shape words in a way that resonated widely. The statement also recognized the influence of the songwriting giants he admired, including Chris Christopherson, Guy Clark, John Prine, and Jerry Jeff Walker. Following the announcement, tributes from fans and fellow musicians appeared across various social media platforms. People shared memories, quoted lyrics, and posted concert photos. These reactions became part of the broader public response to the news, though no additional factual details about his final hours were made available. The only confirmed detail regarding Todd Snider's last day is the one provided by his team. He passed away on November 14th after his condition grew more complicated following a diagnosis of walking pneumonia. Todd Snider leaves behind a legacy shaped by decades of songwriting, storytelling, and dedication to the Americana tradition. Critics and fellow musicians frequently described him as a unique voice in modern folk and alt-country music, someone whose work blended humor, sincerity, and observation. His career included collaborations and friendships with influential artists such as Chris Christopherson, John Prine, Guy Clark, and Jerry Jeff Walker. His albums, including Songs for the Daily Planet, East Nashville Skyline, and his many live recordings, remain central to his reputation as a musician who valued authenticity above all else. His passing sparked widespread reflection among fans and artists who had followed his career closely. Tributes highlighted the qualities mentioned in the official announcement: his gift for words, his humor, and the sense of connection his music created. Sharing a favorite song, performance, or story remains one of the most meaningful ways to keep his voice alive.